ਜਾਣੋ ਕਾਲ। ਭਾਈ ਰੇ ਇਉਂ ਸਿਰ ਜਾਣੋ ਕਾਲ। ਜਿਉਂ ਮੱਛੀ ਤਿਉਂ ਮਾਨਸਾ ਪਵੇ ਅਚਿੰਤਾ ਜਾਨ। ਭਾਈ ਰੇ ਇਉਂ ਸਿਰ ਜਾਣੋ ਕਾਲ। ਮਛਲੀ ਜਾਲ ਨ ਜਾਣਿਆ, ਮਛਲੀ ਜਾਲ ਨਾ ਜਾਣਿਆ, ਸਰ ਖਾਰਾ ਯਸਗਾਹ। ਅਤ ਸਿਆਣੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੋਵੇ ਸਾਹ। ਕੀਤੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਪਾਕੜੀ ਕਾਲ ਨ ਟਲੇ ਸਿਰਾਹ। ਭਾਈ ਰੇ ਇਉਂ ਸਿਰ ਜਾਣੋ ਕਾਲ। ਸਭ ਜਗ ਬਾਂਧੋ ਕਾਲ ਕੋ, ਬਿਨ ਗੁਰ ਕਾਲ ਅਪਾਰ। ਸਚ ਰਤੇ ਸੇ ਉਪਰੇ, ਦੁਬਦਾ ਛੋੜ ਵਿਕਾਰ। ਹਾਂ ਤਿਨ ਕੈ ਬਲਹਾਰਣੇ, ਦਰ ਸੱਚੇ ਸਚਿਆਰ। ਸਿਚਾਨੇ ਜਿਉ ਪੰਖੀਆਂ, ਚਾਲੀ ਬਤੇ ਕਹਾਂ। ਗੁਰ ਰਾਖੇ ਸੇ ਉਪਰੇ, ਹੋਰ ਫਾਤੇ ਜੋਗੇ ਸਾ। ਬਿਨ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਚੁਣ ਸੁਟੀਏ, ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਸੰਗੀ ਸਾ। ਸਚੋ ਸਚਾ ਆਖੀਏ, ਸੱਚੇ ਸੱਚਾ ਥਾਨ। ਜਿਨ ਸੱਚਾ ਮੰਨਿਆ, ਜਿਨੀ ਸੱਚਾ ਮੰਨਿਆ, ਤਿਨ ਮਨ ਸਚ ਧਿਆਨ। ਮਨ ਮੂਕੇ ਸੋਚੇ ਜਾਣੀਏ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਜਿਨ ਨਾ ਗਿਆਨ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰ, ਸਾਜਣ ਦੇ ਮਿਲਾਏ। ਸਾਜਣ ਮਿਲੇ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਇਆ, ਜਮਦੂਤ ਮੁਏ ਬਿਖ ਖਾਏ। ਨਾਵੇਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਹੋਵਸਾਂ, ਨਾਉ ਵਸੇ ਮਨ ਆਏ। ਬਾਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਾਰ ਹੈ, ਸ਼ਬਦੇ ਬੂਝ ਨ ਪਾਏ। ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਪਰਗਾਸ ਹੋਏ, ਸਚ ਰਹੇ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਏ। ਤਿੱਥੇ ਕੌਣ ਨਾ ਸੰਚਰੇ, ਜੋਤੀ ਜੋਤ ਸਮਾਏ। ਤੂੰ ਹੈ ਸਾਜਨ ਤੂੰ ਸੁਜਾਨ, ਤੂੰ ਆਪੇ ਮੇਲਣ ਹਾਰ। ਗੁਰ ਸ਼ਬਦੀ ਸਲਾਹੀਏ, ਅੰਤ ਨ ਬਾਰਾਵਾਰ। ਤਿੱਥੇ ਕਾਲ ਨ ਆਪਣੇ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਗੁਰ ਕਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਅਵਾਰ। ਹੁਕਮੀ ਸਬਦੀ ਸਲਾਹੀਏ, ਅੰਤ ਨ ਬਾਰਾਵਾਰ। जिथे गुर का शब्द अवार। हुक्मी सब है उपजे हुक्मी कार कमाए। हुक्मी काल वास है हुक्मी सच समाए। नानक जो तिस भावे सोथिए न जनता वस किछ राय। भाई रे यूं सिर जानोगा।
In our last get together, we were given the message that those who actually get the message, understand the message, and then get started on the path, these were the changes, those are the changes that happen inside them. Their characteristics change. हर जियो शब्द पछाणिए साच रते गुरवाक। तित तन मैल न लग गई सच घर जिस औताक। नदर करे सच पाइए बिन नावे क्या साक। Those who are on that path, they actually get the essence. जिन्नी सच पछाणिया, they really get the gist of it. And once they get the gist of it, they get going, and there are subtle changes that come inside them. From the outer world, they look okay, the same, not much different. But their inner, almost like an alchemist, there are magical things happening. Now, when somebody listens to that message, the immediate reaction is, okay, so there are supposed to be changes, I'm going to go make some changes. So I'm going to change my dress, I'm going to change my behavior, I'm going to change my talk, I'm going to do everything that presents that model. And Gurbani warns us against that. They say outer changes without the inner changes are going to be extremely, extremely useless activity. You might get into the self-deception mode, but that about the denial of the reality, the deceptions that you think you are deceiving the world, and yeah, maybe you are, but you're not deceiving him. And here is an example that from the outer life, something might sound extremely, extremely good, but if the inner changes have not taken place, how the person gets into the trap. And hence the next hymn. And it starts with a metaphor, a real life example, which says, Machli jal na jane. The example is of fish. And now Gurbani says, look, at seani sohani. The fish, when you look at the fish, it looks so beautiful, the body is so streamlined and so soft lines, there is not a harshness around him. But she has not made the inner changes. Then what happens? Machli jal na jane. Jal means that net. When the net is thrown, because there is no inner evolution, what happens? Machli gets in, the fish gets trapped by the net. Machli jal na jane sarkhara asaga. Not only that she did not understand the game of the net, even though she is living inside the ocean, inside the water, it understands nothing of the water. And it doesn't care about the water. Why? Because as soon that hook is thrown, she immediately runs after that hook. She immediately runs after that net because there is something in it. Sar means the ocean. Khara means water is salty. Asga means that it is not measurable. It's very great. So for the fish, the ocean is so unlimited. She has no desire to understand the home in which she survives. She has no appreciation of the water which gives her the life. But from the outer side, she looks beautiful. At Seyani Sohani. She looks very pretty. But what happens? Kyunki to vaisa. She, based on her old habits, wherever there is a food, that's okay. She does not see that under that food there is a hook that will catch him. Vasa means to trust somebody. Based on the old habitual pattern, it falls into the trap. And then what happens? Kite karana pakadi. Because of those things, she gets caught. Kal natale siraha. And then she is now trapped by the death trap. So by using that metaphor, Gurbani says, Bhai re, eon sir jaalon kal. O seeker, that is exactly how this whole of the universe is. They are in the trap of the time and space. Kal is time and space. ज्यों मछली त्यों मानसा पवे अचिंता जा. As the fish got caught by the time and space continuum because there was no inner changes, the same thing will happen to you. Because the end of the time is not going to come to you with a warning. It's not going to send you a card and saying, so and such date, your time will be up. It is going to come pave achinta. It will not be in your mind when it will come and catch you. So don't depend on the changes on the outer side. Don't depend on your appeal to the other side. The people look at you and say, how beautiful you are, how nice you are, how humble you are, all those titles they give you. They don't know what's going on inside. You may be very peaceful from outside. What is the turmoil inside? They don't know that. Only you know it. So make those internal changes. Look, just as the fish did not understand the total picture, if you make the same mistake, your end will be the same also. Why is that? It says, well, understand that it is not for these laws, these rules, these regulations, these constraints are not for just one person. You have not been singled out because of that. It is universal law. Does not matter at what time and space intersection you come to this planet. 10,000 years ago or 10,000 years from now, those natural laws remain the same. Sab jag bandho kaal ko. Sab jag, everyone. Bandho kaal ko. It is affected by the kal means the time and space. It is in its bondage. You have a certain time and you're going to spend that certain time and that's going to be the end of it. And unless you get going and implementing the message that has been given to you in the past 3 hymns, Bin gur kal afar. Without understanding it, you are bound to suffer the consequences of the time and space bondage. You cannot escape सच रत्ते से उभरे दुबदा छोड़ विकार. Such rate, those who have accepted the truth, understood the ultimate truth, and implemented it. Rate. Rate means the one who are actually completely drenched. One is range. When you dye a cloth, there are different type of colors. Some colors are so strong that no matter what you do, they don't run. But then some colors are so weak that the moment you put in a hot water, they start running. And Gurbani says, no, not those which start running, but those who never run. Meaning thereby that the essence of the truth has become the part of every fiber of your existence. Sach rate se ubhre. Those are the only souls, those are the only entities which will rise above the consciousness, rise above the masses. Why? Because dubda shod vikar. Now they are not into dual-mindedness. Dubda means dual-mindedness, which is what we go through every day of our life. Should I or should I not? Isn't it? I mean, if I go too deep into it, then how do I deal with the outside? If I go too deep into the outside, how I do with the inside? We are constantly oscillating. And those who actually accept the truth, there is no oscillation for them. They have no ambiguity left. There is no doubt left. They know what they want to do, how they want to do, when they want to do. And it's irrelevant what others think about them or say about them or declare about them. They just stay that. Dubda chod. They just leave it. All duality is taken away from them. How tinke balaharane dar sache satyar. Those are really the blessed souls. Those are really the blessed entries who have actually adopted the dar means the door. They are now at the door step of the truth. They are the very blessed one. They are the true seekers. Satyar. Sichane jyo pankhiyan jali baddha kahat. Sichane. That's it is a bird that is a hunter, like the hawk. It's not exactly hawk. It is another bird which eats other birds. Sichane jyo pankhiyan. Just as, for lack of better word in English, as hawk would prey on the weaker birds, sichane jyo pankhiyan jali baddha kahat. That net is the same thing. Baddhak means the one who's going fishing, one who's going to catch. Just as a hawk is the death messenger for the bird, so is the fisherman with the net in his hand. Okay. Now how does this metaphor apply to the spirituality? And he's saying that illusionary senses, sensual delights, are the same to your inner consciousness. Who's the hawk? The sensory delights. Who's the bird? Your inner journey. So if you get trapped by the sensual delights, then it's very, very sure that your inner spirit is getting weakened and getting eaten up. That's why many times I say he doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't even matter to him. It doesn't see. He'd have no conscience. What does that mean? The conscience is there, but it has been dominated by the sensual delights. Everybody has the conscience. But we very easily say, well, is andar hi mar gaya. Means what? That means the actual spiritual death. Not physical, not intellectual, not economic, but the spiritual death. This individual is spending their life on this planet as if the spirit has been pushed so down into the lowest realm that it doesn't come to why should I do this? In fairness to somebody, or there is no compassion left. So, सी चाने से पंखियां जाली बद्ध का हाथ गुर राखे से उबरे होर फाथे चोगे साथ. Those who accept the grace and come under the grace of the Guru, they are able to save themselves. Everybody else become the food or the fodder for the sensual pleasures and the time and space. The illusionary world catches them and basically crushes their inner. Bin naame chun sutiye koi na sangi saath. And Gurbani says, here is the thing that has been repeated to you number of times, and it's being reminded to you again. All of the sensual things that we chase, we either chase for ourselves or for our near or dears. Right? Men say all the time, I am only doing it for you. Either to the children or to the wife or to both. It's not for me, I don't need that much, I am doing it for you. Okay, fine. The question is, why are you doing for it? Because if you are doing for them, do they accept that responsibility? That when you are in some sort of a crisis, they will come and actually say, he did it for me, I deserve that punishment. We were just talking about this Iraqi guy, that if he told his wives and children that I am making all this money for you, he's ready to be hung up and punished for his crimes. Where is the wife and where are the children and where is the relatives and the friends for whom he did? It is not a single person story, whereas that somebody said, no, because he did it for me, I will take that punishment instead of him. Even if you volunteer that, let's say that somebody is that compassionate, says, I want to do that. The world will not accept it. Say, no, you cannot be punished. He is the one to be punished. Now, if in this world that type of exchange is not possible, imagine if it is possible at all in that dimension. Totally out of question. And that's what Gurbani is saying. Bin naame chun sutiye. Those who have not accepted the grace, who have not walked on the path, bin naame, without that, what will happen? Chun sutiye. They will be set aside for the result of their choices, and nobody will come. Koi na sangi saath. Nobody will say, he doesn't deserve the punishment or she doesn't, I do. Nobody will come to that. Say, no, it was his choice. Which we hear all the time. Even the modern generation has become vocal now. They will tell you right on your face, well, if you gave me the birth and you raised me, that's not our obligation on me. It was your responsibility. We don't like to hear that. I have heard children tell their parents, you are not thinking of me, you are just having fun. I just happen to be that accident. And for an Indian mother particularly, it is such a painful acknowledgement to hear from their own children. In the Western culture, they are more tolerant and they accept that, because here, if the son calls the father by the first name, they don't mind it. In Asian cultures, that's considered a very, very disappointing development and painful development in life. But it is happening right now. And Gurbani documented it 500 years ago. How much more proof do you need? This is what's going to happen. It has happened with everybody. Nobody has been able to escape the result of their own choices. Don't be under the illusion that you are doing this for somebody else's benefit. Because if those things are ever challenged in any court of law, you will be the only one. You will stand alone. बिन नावे चुन सुटिए कोई न संगी साथ सच्चो सच्चा आखिए सच्चे सच्चा थान. And here is a reminder which we have been talking about a number of times, that understand truth can never be partial. It is a very paradoxical thing. An illusion can be partial. Untruth, the lie can be partial. But truth cannot be. And the intellect revolts immediately. If this is a half lie, why I can call that a half truth? And the answer is, in the spiritual matter, there is no such thing. It's only either truth or lie. That's it. There is no half measure. And that's what it's saying. Sacho sachai aakiye. That is the ultimate and it's the absolute and 100% complete sache sacha than. The time and space bondage does not exist. Jesus used to say that when they would ask him, how will we recognize the kingdom of your Father? And he used to say, when you go there, there shall be time no more. Means what? You are not in the bondage of space and time. We all are here in the bondage of space and time. Even when we shift the clocks 1 hour this way or that way, we all complain and the body is not adjusting to the time. We travel, we have jet lags. Why? We are bound by the time and space. Whereas that dimension, there is no bondage of time space, because time exists only because the thoughts are traveling from the past to the future. How do we measure time, right? We measure the time by the travel. Travel of what? The planets. Isn't it? Distance traveled. We look at the distance and say, if you travel this much distance, then so much is the time. So the earth takes a full revolution through 24 hours. Earth takes the full revolution around the sun, is full 1 year. So we are bound by that, because in that dimension there is no movement, there is no thought, there is no observer. It's pure consciousness, hence there is no bondage of time and space. And in that environment there cannot be half truth. Sacho sacha akhiye, sache sacha than, jinni sacha manya, ten man sach dhyan, manmukh suche janiye gurmukh jinna gyan. Those who have accepted this, not just intellectually, but experientially, which is the major difference. You will find most of us who are open to metaphysical thought processes will have no problem in accepting this. Yeah, that makes sense. But when it comes to implementing it, we are way apart from it. What does that say? It says that right now it is the knowledge. Right now it is the information. It hasn't become the knowing. It hasn't become the experience. Because when it is experience, then this thing happens. What? Jinni sacha manya, those who have accepted it, ten man sach dhyan. They have gone into the dhyan avastha. From jap to the simran, from simran to dhyan, from dhyan to samadhi. Those are the 4 stages. So Gurbani says those who actually got there, they will actually go into the dhyan avastha and they would manmukh suche janiye. Those who are in that path, in their talk, in their conversations, in their dealings, it's always the truth. Mane mukh. What is in the mane mukh? Sucha janiye. They have the ultimate truth inside them all the time. And Gurmukh Jinna Gyan. They are not doing it because they have heard it and then memorized it. No, they have actually understood it. Gyan. They have actually seen and known the essence, and if you ask them, they will have no problem in explaining it to you, sharing it with you, because they have not only understood it, but they have internalized it. Sadgur agge ardas kar sajan de milaye. So, O seeker, if you are true in your seeking, then the only prayer that you should learn to do, and only thing you should learn to ask is, give me the grace so that I can see you, I can experience you, I can internally manifest you. Which is not what we do. Our prayers are always associated with the outer world. Don't do this, but do that. Even if you are saying, I had a while back a conversation with one of my friends who was asking me that, well, we say, Sukhi base sansar sab, dukhiya rahe na koi. So what's wrong with that? Meaning, whole world should be all very happy and there should not be a single person who's unhappy. No. What's wrong with this prayer? Why shouldn't we ask for it? What do you think? Isn't it very intellectually appealing? Nanak naam chaddi kala tere paane sarvada bana, hai na? By the way, that's Nanak didn't say it. It's not Gurbani. And we continuously declare to the world, Sikhs are those who ask for everybody's. Sarvada pala mangde ji, assi te saadi te kaum aisi hai. Those who say that, they are really not Sikhs. They haven't understood it. Sikhs sab da pala nahi mangde. Sikhs basically say, whatever you're doing, you know, and you are doing it right. Hukam razai chalana. That's what the Sikh is. It questions absolutely nothing. And it labels absolutely nothing. It says whatever is, it is in your will. And from the time immemorial, there has been happiness and unhappiness, smiles and tears, day and night. And nobody has been able to modify that. Nobody will be able to modify it, because that's how the design of the life is. There are going to be rich and there are going to be poor, and there are going to be hungry and there are going to be overeaten. There are going to be starvation and there are going to be gluttony. There is no way you can get rid of it. So to think that you are doing a great prayer, well,
it's noble. It's noble.
From the outer world to the outer world.
It's noble to think.
But the problem is that it's not noble to him.
No.
It's noble to the outer world, right? To him you are saying, दुनिया दुखी रखी है, ये कोई बहुत चंगी गाल नहीं कर रहा तुम, है ना? सुखी बसे संसार सब, दुखिया रहे ना कोई, ये अभिलाषा हम सब की भगवान पूर्ण होए, है ना? But why you have this desire when he says there are going to be some happy and going to be some unhappy, there's going to be some sick and there are going to be some healthy? Who are you challenging it? And you've been saying that since you were born. He hasn't heard it yet. So why don't you get the message and stop it? He's not paying attention to you. He's doing what he wants to do. And Kabir says that. He says, Apna chitavya so kare jo mere chitna. He does exactly what is in his mind, and what is in his mind, I can't even imagine it. When it happens, oh, I never thought of it. And that's what Gurbani is saying here. Sach age, Satgur age ardas kar sajan de milaye. That is the only prayer you need to learn. Gurbani is saying don't pray. But pray for what? Nothing to change. Just let me be like you. Help me to get closer to you. Help me to manifest so that I can experience that state of existence. Sat Chit Anand. Sadguru ki ardas kar kar sajan de milaye, sajan miliye sukh paya, jamdut muhe bikhmaye. Because if you are granted that wish, which is to manifest him within experiences, he says, you will be freed from the bondage of sukha and dukha, happiness and unhappiness, pain and pleasure. Automatically will disappear. And jamdut muhe bikhmaye, time and space will disappear. Nave andar haan vasa, naam vase mane aaye. Then there will be only one thing. He and you, you and him. Nave andar haan vasa. In his name I am, in mine is his name. Naam vase mane aaye. Baj guru ko bhar hai bin shabde booj na paaye. So now, Gurbani becomes compassionate and say, why, in spite of all this, why the masses are not getting the message? You say, well, the problem is that the messengers are also not giving the message, or they don't have the real message, or they are not communicating the message right away. We do not have those real, mystically blessed spiritual souls who will give you the true message. Baj Guru. The true Guru just is not available. Now, why is that? The trap of the illusion, the Maya. When somebody comes and gets the message and has completely understood it and goes to deliver it, and deliver it in such a way that the people really start following, he immediately becomes himself, declares to be the God. That then, at the moment he starts being the messenger and becomes the God, the process stops. So now they are catering to the masses, whatever anybody wants to hear. I have heard and seen where they will have the same thing. Somebody comes, I have a pain in my knee, they'll say, okay, take this ash and rub it here and it'll be okay. Alright, so he goes away. And somebody comes in and say, I don't have a child. Say, okay, take this ash and put it in the water, drink it, and you'll have it. So they just change the methodology and keep on doing the same game. Well, I have this fear. Okay, take this and tie it to your arm and sleep it with under your pillow. So they immediately stop being the guru and becomes the businessman. Hence the message gets distorted. So Gurbani says it's not really the fault of the seeker. The reality is, Baj Guru Gobar hai. Without the true master, there is a spiritual darkness, there is spiritual bankruptcy all around. Bin Shabde Booj na paye. Because these are just riddles, they are not mysteries. Even though we call it mystery, the process and the method is not a mystery. Life is a mystery. The Creator is a mystery. But how to solve that is a puzzle, not a mystery. But the puzzle is not presented properly. So, for example, we have so much discussion about, is everything His will? Then what's my contribution? What should I do? Or why should I do at all? It's His will. He will put that thought in me if He wants to do it. Now, how do you solve that? So you need to sit down the seeker. Are you interested in understanding what the parable is, what the metaphor is? But they don't do that. Hence the riddle is not solved. Baj Guru go bar hai bin shabde booj na paye. They don't understand it. Gurmati pragash hoye sach rahe le bulaye. If you really want to know it and you apply yourself, you sit in the company of those who have gone ahead of you, which is what? Gurmati. Those who have that, you sit down with them, they will turn this darkness into light. Pragash hoye. You will understand, aha, so that's what it meant. I was thinking it this way. I was looking at it that way. Suddenly your perspective will change. Otherwise, the most of the arguments and the disagreements and the fights are like the metaphor of the blind man trying to convince the other that they have seen the elephant. So the one who is touching the stomach, he keeps on insisting it's a wall. Come see from my side. And the one who is touching the trunk, he's saying it's a pole and nothing is going to change his mind. And the one who is touching the ear, he sees it as a fan. Nothing will change his mind. One who is touching the leg, to him it's a tree, and nothing will change his mind. Only the one who has opened the eyes and see the totality can tell all four of them that you are only partially true, and you are confusing that partial truth to be the ultimate truth, which is what the arguments are usually about. So, Gurbani says, in order to see the total elephant, you have to be in the company of the one who has seen the elephant. You cannot go to another blind man and say, I am saying it is this, what do you think? Now, if he has also seen the way you saw it, he's going to say, yeah, you're absolutely right, they were wrong. And that's how you kept on collecting votes. You go in public and you say, what do you think about this? Out of the entire crowd, there is always one or two who will say, yeah, you are right. I also thought it that way. And that keeps on reinforcing the false notion. How do you turn that around? Gurmati pragash hoye sach rahe le bulai. You need to get to the one who has the gurmat. That was what will change that illusion into reality. Tithe kal na sancharay jyoti jyota samay. When the light opens, darkness disappears, then the tithe kal na sancharay. Then the time and space has no influence on it. And you get ready to become one with one. Jyoti jyota samay. तू है साजन तू सुजान तू आपे मेलनहार गुर शब्दी सलाहिए अंत न पारावार तिथे काल ना अपड़े जिथे गुर का शब्द अपार. Now we have been seeing this particular process in all through the Gurbani, that whenever Gurbani says you need to do something, it immediately reminds you that you are not the doer. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen somebody else's grace. Right? In the first sentence, it just said, Satguru age ardas kar, sajan de milay. And now, you say, tu hai sajan, sujan tu ape melanhar. Immediate reminder that you are not the doer. He is the manifester through you. You are making the effort to fine tune your energies so that you can manifest that. But it's going to happen with His grace. Tu ape melanahar. If He wills it, it will happen. If He doesn't will it, it will not happen. Gur Shabdi Salahiye Antana Paravar. So, what should the seeker do? Well, seeker should continue on the path. Gur Shabdi Salahiye. You should not get discouraged. You should not change your paths. You should not develop doubts. You just continue. Why? Antana Paravar. You are trying to deal with the unlimited. And you yourself do not know where your journey started from. In this path, you cannot compare yourself with anything. You cannot say, well, so and so is does this and has achieved this state, and I am doing this. I am not there. Maybe I am not destined to be. I have a bad luck, and he's not. He's partial. If you start developing those feelings, you're going to fall back. So what you need to do? Gur Shabdi Salahi. You just continue on that path. Antana Paravar, Tithe Kal na apade jithe Gur ka Shabda par. At that stage where that situation, that word manifests itself, then the time and space bondage is completely broken. Hukmi sabhe upjay, hukmi kar kamai. Everything is under His will. And even what you are doing is under His will, is according to His will. Hukmi kar kamai. You are not the doer. Hukume kale vas hai, hukmi sach samai. All the time and space drama is according to His wish, and those who are going to be freed from that drama is also according to His wish. Hukmi sach samai. Nanak jyotis bhave sothiye ina janta vas kichna hai. So, in the end, in conclusion, whatever is His will, Nanak jyotis bhave sothiye, whatever He wills is what happens. Inna janta vas kichanae. All these mind-body systems, all these entities really control absolutely nothing. All is your will, and it manifests according to your design. So may He give us the strength and the wisdom so that we learn how to do the right prayer and ask for the right thing. With that, I want to thank you for all of you for coming. I wish you all the best in the coming year. For Sikhs, all days are exactly the same. We do not distinguish anything between December 30th versus January 1st. It means nothing. But Western culture puts importance to those dates. So be it.
Enjoy that.
Yeah. So enjoy your parties.
Good place to end the year.
Yeah.
Where everything manifests
According to His will.
His will.
Exactly. Thank you.
Where did this come from? Nanak Naam Chaddi Kala se path sarda
ये आपने कविता बनाई हुई है.
कविता है ये नानक नाम चढ़ती कला तेरे पांच सर्वता कला ये रिकॉर्ड रखते हैं.
अच्छा
हाँ जाग काम गाਉਂਦੇ लो
I thought that was Vani. No.
ਸਾਰੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਵੀ ਐਸੀ ਲਾਈਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ.
ਸਾਰੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਤੇ
ਨਹੀਂ up to the
ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ.
ਹਾਂ
ਉਹ ਦਸਮ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਚੋਂ ਹੈ.